Adam, if you were my boss and we were having a discussion about how you can get more performance out of me, I would say, Adam, when you speak to me like X, it makes me feel Y, which results in me being less productive and I feel Z. If I can give specific examples, it sort of makes it more relatable, and hopefully you'll be able to see that it's important to me and that it's an easy fix.
A bad boss.
Yes.
If you have a bad boss, can you make him better?
Depends what kind of bad boss they are.
Okay.
When we're talking about a bad boss, we're talking about someone that makes you feel demeaned or underconfident or just makes you question yourself. And
doesn't show the best side of yourself.
That's right, and it's a persistent pattern of behaviour. So it's not just a one-off or something that happens when a person's under pressure. This is a persistent pattern of behaviour that we're talking about. So with these three different types of bosses, the first kind of boss is the person that doesn't know that they're a bad boss. Thankfully, this is the majority of the bad bosses that are out there. So that one is actually a relatively easy fix compared to the other two bad bosses.
Now, you've met lots of bosses.
I have.
Most of them wanting to improve. I don't think I've ever met a boss that doesn't want to improve.
There are a number of people that have been promoted into positions where they are managing people and they're just not good at managing people.
Right.
So, in management theory, there's the Peter Principle and things like that. What's Peter Principle? The Peter Principle, where you are continually promoted to a point where you're now essentially incompetent. So when you have someone that essentially doesn't know that they're bad, the thing that you do to try and resolve that is to take them out, set aside some time to go and have a discussion. So you don't want to be having a corridor discussion or anything like that, or a quickie 5-minute discussion after a meeting. Set some time aside and actually say to the boss, I would like to sit down and talk with you about how I can improve my productivity with you and how we can work together better. And do it outside the office. So go to a neutral place like a cafe or something like that so that you're out of the work environment. And it shifts the power balance a little bit so you're more on neutral territory.
But it would also, if somebody asked me, hey, can we have a meeting down in the local cafe?
Yep.
And it wasn't natural, it would sound quite ominous.
That's why it's important to say, I'd like to talk about how we can best work together.
Seeing the context, great.
Yep.
Okay.
You need to set the context because, you don't want alarm bells ringing.
They're quitting or something.
Yeah, that's right. We certainly don't want that. We want to phrase it positively. And so explain to them, you want them to get the best out of you, and the way that they need to do that is, or the way they can do that is by, these 5 languages of appreciation. For example, I work best if I get constructive feedback and positive feedback. And it's always good if you can give them some examples. So, Adam, if you were my boss and we were having a discussion about how you can get more performance out of me, I would say, Adam, when you speak to me like X, it makes me feel Y, which results in me being less productive and I feel Z. If I can give specific examples, it sort of makes it more relatable, and hopefully you'll be able to see that it's important to me and that it's an easy fix.
So that's assuming you have good communication, because what you've said is so important. And I can tell you most employees just are not comfortable enough to say, hey, you did something. I'm often told that something happened, and I'm really surprised because it seemed to me a small thing. I often don't even remember different things that an employee said or I said or something happened, and they were quite hurt by it.
Right.
It's amazing. And of course, humans are kind of crazy. We all kind of, build these things up. And that sounds easy, but I think for the average person, that's really hard.
It can be really difficult if there's a culture where transparency isn't honoured. Where transparency is not really encouraged. And so if you demonstrated, for example, like that, but hey, if you feel you want to have a chat, and if you're going to have a chat, don't hide it. And once you've had that chat, put into place plans to be able to then build on that. So you don't just want to have the chat and then that's it, nothing happens. There needs to be some action, some time frames, so that you're both comfortable that there's some actionable items there. For people that have got the boss that knows that they're bad but and want to improve, they're actually great to be able to sit down and have a chat to as well, and so the same strategy works. And just on that third boss that doesn't care either way, if they're good or bad, run. There's really not much that we can do to change people's behaviour in that respect.
Thank you so much, Kylie. This has been a great chat.
Thanks.
You're so empathetic. I love how you do this. So with that, this is Adam Kogan signing off for SSW TV.